Let's see, are we live? Looks like we're good. Testing, 1, 2. Sorry about a couple seconds late here. I got carried away talking to David within the chat about pizza. Got the pizza oven, love doing that. And I was telling him about some delicious pizzas. And then he was coming up with a sausage pie with hot honey drizzle. That sounded really good, actually. Now I'm totally hungry for that. Looks like a lot of people have joined. Kev T, Roland One, D Nice, David, of course, Alex as well. Thank you, gentlemen, ladies, and other folks on the line. Greatly appreciate you coming out today. So, if you don't know, the NASDAQ is literally on the brink of getting into all-time highs. We have a combination of earnings starting this week. So, of course, we really just kind of start off on Wednesday with JP Morgan's, Wells Fargo, Goldman Sachs, Bed Bath & Beyond, really going to be coming out on Wednesday morning. So Wednesday pre-market or before the market opens, so before 9:30, the banks will report. So that's really just the first kickoff for a lot of the ongoing stuff that we could see with earnings, of course, and really just kind of highlighting on those particular facts. But the NASDAQ has definitely come back the last week and a half. You can really see that rebound quite substantially there. Let's just go ahead and jump with some tickers. What are you guys looking at? Alex is saying made a huge play on Dash calls this week. Could you take a look at the chart? Alex going with the weeklies. Okay, my friend. You know that's not my favorite cup of tea, but each their own creator. Holy moly! Did you buy in on Friday, or were you in this before this move higher here? That's something was pretty interesting move there. That's actually could be a slight comeback here. I was actually short Dash for a little bit, kind of got out here towards the 123-ish, 124 level or something like that. But yeah, that could be a potential rebound. We are kind of basing here around that 130 range. So you can kind of see here, if we zoom in here on the daily chart, we have that 5 and 8 moving averages that we just have been trying to get, not really being able to get above. And then, of course, coming in Friday, I don't know what the news is on this one. You probably will know better if you're making a huge play on it. It broke past that 21 EMA. And look at that volume on that. Let me look to this chart here. Yeah, that's a pretty substantial amount of volume, and it is trying to break the trend to go higher, because you can see here via this chart, this is that trend chart that we talk about quite a few times, highlighting these particular levels here, just seeing a lot of red really breaking the trend here, and now with a pretty large swing higher here, that is kind of breaking into thing here. Hold on, my charts are just completely... There we go. Okay. Make sure I was on the right settings there. But that is definitely something that thing came back pretty strong. What is the news on here? Did it trying to get acquired? It looks like DoorDash to announce earnings on May 13th. Oh, SoftBank invested in mortgage startup better too. Okay, what's plans to get on DoorDash? I'm not seeing anything. I don't know. That's a very strange move higher. Again, I don't like to sift through the news to kind of dig and kind of find some stuff. But yeah, it definitely could play out. Let me go just do a quick fib here for you it's going to be very tough, because again, that's a very long extended candle here from the swing higher here. So the Fibonacci is not going to be too fantastic here on this side. Let's kind of break it down to a smaller chart here, like an hourly chart here. So an hourly 20 days, it kind of gives us a little bit better perspective since you're playing weeklies. So initially looking at, this kind of comes up with a pattern here. So we're looking here at a 1 hour, 20-day chart here for you there, my friend. So the swing high at 145 to the swing low at 121. And we do have full market, not just the cash market. We have the pre and after market showing here in the chart. from the swing high to swing low, you can see here it's hitting the 78.6 percentile move. So around that 140 level is a very key level. So if we can maintain and continue kicking higher, I think we could easily see 145 again. I'm not sure what the momentum is for the stock here, but that is a pretty substantial move higher here. Again, just the last Friday, that was a pretty substantial move from 126 all the way to 140. Godspeed to them. I don't know if it's like a reopening thing or lockdowns. So that's gonna be really hard to tell. But yeah, so 140 to 145, and then if it really wants to break higher, we're looking for 152. I don't think they have weekly options for this. They do. Great, good. So the 16th. So that would put it. Although this is it's monthly expiration next week, isn't it? Holy moly, is it a monthly? Oh wow! So they're expecting to move at least $10. So if it, yeah, that kind of could put it to that 150 range. So Godspeed on you there, Alex, for that one, without a doubt. Everyone's waiting for Monday. Yeah, heck yeah. Kevin, thank you. Nick, how you doing, my friends? Achieving Greatness says, hey, Ken, I hope you're doing well. Quick question: do you think XLL has some downside this coming week due to acquisition earnings scandal as some banks might report it? Honestly, so I'm long XLF, but I'm not long, I'm longer long term. So I'm playing well past the call options are going into like September, I believe, maybe even October. I'm playing the ticker symbol as well, XLF. I think that again, we do have earnings coming out for the banks this week, like we just highlighted here. If you go to this chart here, you see the Wednesday morning. So if you remember, Goldman Sachs had a huge standing in it. Morgan Stanley with the Argos, whatever the hell you pronounce it. And then you had some smaller banks that really didn't do too well. I don't think it's like an overall issue, honestly, in that standpoint. On people like, oh, it's going to be a negative effect. I think Goldman Sachs actually, they said they reported it making money, and same with Morgan Stanley being the larger firms, and really seeing that kind of, again, they made money off of it. And of course, JP Morgan, I don't think was a part of it, but yeah, the banks look pretty poised for, I think, a nice little run higher. I think if the XLF can continue going higher, I got some short-term, excuse me, short-term price targets around $38. I know it's an ETF. I know it's boring, blah blah blah, but XLF I really do like, and I think if the banks do report well, I think we can easily see it break to all-time highs this week if everything goes well from there. I've been holding the 416 DoorDash call since last week. Took profit already on course. Nice. Okay. Always make sure you take profit when you hit your first target and be pretty aggressive, at least taking at least 50% off. That's what I like to say. Short the bounce, buy the dip. Is it UWMC? Yeah, this is, I don't know what to say about this one. This has been just continuously being just like downward again. It got that little move higher due to the fact of the Rocket Mortgage kind of boost that it had. But since then, it's just kind of been like really just been subsiding and just continue kind of trending lower, getting back down to that potential 750-ish range. Again, it could have a spike again. Sure, why not? But I'm a little bit hesitant because, again, we did not see the 5 and 8 cross through the 21 EMA here, so it's just kind of been like kind of a fake out, or if you all know, it's a trap. But I didn't do it like a fish face. But yeah, that's I don't like the chart setup. That's not my kind of chart to trade. Can it bounce higher? Sure, why not? But I don't know the fundamental story here as well, so the chart doesn't look too pretty as of right now. But Kevin is asking, Ken, what do you think about SQ? It's been really high IVR. Yes, it has, because it had a pretty substantial move. Just a pretty V-shaped recovery here, bouncing off that 144 EMA on the daily chart around 205. Basically, where it bounced previously in the month of March, and now we saw it in April, the end of March and the beginning of April, kind of bounce off higher here, trying to get back up to that 180-ish level. I think this is still somewhat of a correlation to the like a Bitcoin play. Like Bitcoin's has been hovering around like 60,000 for a little bit here and there. I think that it still could go higher without a doubt. But I think it could be in a little bit choppy territory because if you're not familiar, Jamie Dimon, the CEO of JP Morgan, has come out and kind of put some targets on like regulation targets for the regulatory environment to start looking at PayPal, Square, and things like that, kind of potentially slowing their growth down, which I don't take it too much as a risk, but it's just a man of the old way of doing things is getting kind of ticked off on how the new companies are doing things. But that's easily said than done. If this wants to continue going higher, we're easily going to be trying to test that 180-ish range potentially in the near term. We have some first short-term resistance around 169 to 170. Oh, Nick says he bought puts on Dash. Yeah, that's what makes the market, right? One goes long, one goes short. Let's see who makes money. David S. G-Nog, is that the casino play? The Golden Nugget, right? The casino, like online gambling, whatever. GNOG. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, you're pretty good. Like you kind of like kind of around that $13 range. Like a double bottom, as you can say here. Kind of again familiar to a lot of stocks that we have already looked at, making that double bottom and bouncing off here. Yeah, it's pretty good to take a little bit off, take some chips off the table, no pun intended here. Looking for again that 1736 to potentially 18 on the high side to be some first overall resistance. But yeah, this thing definitely could run again. It could be this could be the double bottom that we have been looking for, and that could continue to run. But this one was a SPAC, so I'm a little bit hesitant on like going too gun ho on SPACs. I know it's a more robust company than some of these very lofty SPACs that we've seen in the past, but I'm still a little bit concerned about that. So even from the swing high to swing low, we have that first level from those double bottom around 1643, and then potentially looking for some targets around 1850 to 1848 to be 100% precise there. Sean, looking for Roku. Yeah, people love the Roku. That thing has been dipping lower here a little bit. Again, look with a lot of the NASDAQ heavy flyers, we've seen it kind of top out and kind of downward trend, and now start seeing it kind of slightly reverse here. We're seeing that reverse coming through by closing above the 21 EMA. We have the 5 and 8 crossing through the 21 EMA. This just kind of continues to build the momentum and trying to get it back up to that 50 SMA here, which is kind of around that 387 to 385 range. So if we can kind of burst through that and maybe get some more volume coming in, because we did see some pretty strong volume early in the week here. Look at that very heavy volume coming up here. This is definitely an indication of maybe in the short term, this 1 or 320 range is basically your level of support here. Some short-term level of support to the downside is going to be around 350. So those are going to be some levels of support with some potential targets at resistance. Would be around 388 and potentially, let me do a quick short-term there here. Yeah, so 389 to 412 there. So 412 is going to be so 412 to 410 is something that you need to look for to kind of see if we can potentially meet those targets there. Might be a good dip opportunity for you, worst case. Yeah. Again, this is just my opinion, so just take it with a grain of salt, right? That's an ugly chart. I don't know what you're talking about. You're talking about me? No. Looks like a pump and dump. I'm short Delta. Are you short Delta like the airline, or are you talking about short delta like in the Greeks. Vlad, what's up, my friend? Long time no see. Looking for MGM. Wow. That looks really amazing. Wow, why is this on a monthly chart? Wow. That is a heck of a comeback. That is a pretty intense comeback there. Wow. Hit that for like $42 range. So again, looking at these fibs here, these fibs were drawn like basically from the before the pandemic and then the low of the pandemic. Like MGM got down to $6 nearly, okay, or actually got down to $5.90, and now it's made a pretty substantial recovery, hitting here around $42. So if we want to continue to see this momentum, we have some short-term support coming around 39 to around 38.50 to be your first level of support, and then potentially down to 34.64. The next level we potentially could be looking for the old MGM would be around the 52.39. That again, that's on the Fibonacci tree here, and we're looking here on the weekly side. I really do like this. Again, I think that we are going to be having that big boom bust economy coming back fairly soon. Excuse me. Omar, what's up, my friend? Long time no see as well. Etsy, oh my gosh, like, talk about a monster stock. That thing has just ran. That thing has definitely ran up here. It's kind of bouncing into some resistance here, so I actually need to update there we go. Let me go to the weekly side. Yeah, look at this. This thing from the bottom of last year, of last March, from basically 32 to 250. So it's had a pretty monstrous run. We are seeing here on the weekly side, it has come down to the weekly 21 EMA multiple times. So the 21 EMA usually on the weekly side comes down to the 89 EMA on the daily side. So initially speaking, we have some short-term support around 206 to 204, and then potentially around that 200 to 197. Some levels to kind of see it break out is around 225 and potentially to that 237 to 240-ish range with Etsy. But the chart is looking up for a pretty potentially aggressive move to the upside if we can continue seeing some more momentum coming into some of these names. I 100% agree with that. I'm going long VIAC. Check it out. Is this what is this? Yeah, what happened there? What is this? Oh, this is the Viacom. Yeah, okay. I was like, this looks like something that was in the short squeeze or the hedge fund debacle. Yeah, I'm a little hesitant. I don't know too much about this Viacom, like their business model or what the hell they own, honestly. I just don't like to see charts like this, and I don't want to be the guy on the bottom with the basket. Like you've seen the cartoons where the guy's trying to catch something and it's like a huge metal steel anvil and it just kind of goes right through the basket and it takes you with it. I don't want to be that kind of character in this one. Again, I understand that it is probably overdone. I do agree with you. It's probably overdone. I'm just a little bit more cautious and a little bit more concerned on just what the damage has been done, because not every person was able to get out of this, most likely, and they're just kind of waiting for a potential run up to maybe 48 to 50, maybe even breaking 45 and just getting out and selling. Again, I like to maybe see this base build here a little bit more around that $44 range for me to get into it. But you do you, man. Kelly D, what's up, my friend? How do ho? I'm doing well, thank you, Victor. Yeah, UMWC is definitely an ugly one for sure. Let's see here. Oceanic ABBV. Yes, this is like a interesting one that comes up on my scans quite a bit here. This thing's just been chilling like a felon here, around that 207 line forever. Basically, just kind of flirting with it for the last like 3.5, 4 months, and just kind of waving in and out, up and down, left and right, and not really seeing anything kind of progressively move off that line. Um, Again, looking on the weekly chart, really kind of consolidating here. I actually really like this chart, actually. I think it came up on my weekly scan this morning, and I might have put it down on a different list. I don't see it on. I put it over here. Might have. 1 second. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I think I put it in my book over here. Okay, let me leave that over here. Yeah, I like this one to the long side. I think I wrote myself down. Yeah, I was looking to sell some puts in this. I was looking around that 105 to potentially the 100 range to sell some premium in this. The IV is very low. I understand that, but me being the cautious fellow here, I always like to go small before I go big, if you know what I mean. But yeah, this is easily could maybe potentially break 109 to 110. We'll see how that one goes. Shane, I bought MGM. I bought MGM at 7. I bought like 1,000 shares, but then I sold them all for periodically all the way up to like 20 something. Baba's going to be in play according to Financial Juice. It's up 5% China. Yeah, Baba has been trending slightly higher, honestly, on Wall Street Bets quite a bit. I know that I forget what, I think it was Intel within the chat and Discord. Again, if you haven't joined the Discord, the link is down below. It's completely free. I'm just trying to have people come together, share ideas, talk some shit, and just have a great old time. So, anyways, we're looking for some. Okay, yeah, Baba has been very much beat down because they had that the Chinese probe into them. So the 227 to 225 has been a pretty strong support level. So depending on how or what happens come this week, this one could be one on that I would like to sell some premium on as well. So if we do get a pretty substantial bounce here, we're going to be looking for some levels to break above 230 to even 235. That really key level to kind of see is 245 to 260 are some very significant levels to see if we get that bounce back. Long time no chat. Love your chat chart analysis. What is your personal rule for cutting your losses or just diamond hands until the back around? Stephen, no, sadly, I don't have diamond hands. I have plain old normal flesh Anglo-Saxon hands. No, I'm not Anglo-Saxon. I'm more German. More German Italian. But the what do I do for rules on cutting losses? I actually try to cut losses really fast, honestly. Depending if I'm trading stock, I'm looking at maybe a 3 or 4% decline in my share price. That's usually accordance to what I'm risking for the trade. So, for example, I'm usually in my options trading account, I'm maybe looking for cutting if I'm doing long calls. Anywhere from like 20 to 25%. Normally, it's like 3 or 4% of capital allocation from that. So it really just comes down on how much capital is available to trade and where things are tied up on. But the rule is honestly is like sure, diamond hands is fantastic and great, but with short term trades, especially in options, it's very not saying it's not possible. It's just if you get a huge downtick or even a thing that just doesn't end up in your favor, it's just better to cut the loss. From my understanding and the way I like to do things is, but that question is a little vague just because if it's a weekly call and the stocks drop 20%, it's most likely that stock's not going to come back. If you know what I mean, it could come back in a year. Just depending on what your time horizon is. Franklin, what's up, my friend? Good evening, Ken. I'm glad to see you tonight. As always, look forward to seeing your Sunday night listenings. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate it. I love doing these. Even though I was outside way too much today. Not way too much. I just tired. I had a long week. I'm just trying to recover. BA will hit with Wrecking Ball. Is that a good thing? Is it getting here there? Going to download Discord now. Just can get join your server and the network. Yeah, it's Steven. It's completely, yeah. You're going to see a lot of different people over there. We love talking Costco snacks. We talk about everything across the board. Yeah. And just, you can ping me anytime, ask me questions. I'll do my best to get back at you and give you my God honest answers. Kelly D, hey, Ken, can you take a look at Eli Lilly? Is that EL? Oh no, that's the. Oh yes, you're still in that one. This is the. This is Callaway Golf. I thought this was the makeup company. Wow. Is this because of Top Golf, or are people getting back into golf? Excuse me. This is interesting. It's a good looking chart. Like, I remember Callaway Golf years and years ago. Yeah, okay. This thing it's just been a dog ever since the 08-09, but it's making its comeback. And I think, I don't want to say just because of Top Golf, but that's when the rumbles were happening, because I think they own, I don't know what the percentage was, but it was a pretty fair amount of the overall business of it. But yeah, Callaway Golf, what do you have? I have 30 leaps. You have the 30 call leaps, or you have 30 leap calls? What are they going for, the 30 leaps? That's actually not bad. That's not that bad. The IV's kind of high in that, but I kind of like it. That's a really good reopening play, and especially, yeah, more people moving to the countryside. I don't know. I kind of like it. Let me see here. Let me go back to the weekly chart, kind of give me a better understanding here. I bet you this is hitting like the 1272, close to the 1618. Just see what happens. Look at that. 1272 right up there with $30. Yeah, I kind of like this one. You might get me into this trade here, Kelly. If we can get that nice move up to $30, which is not too far away. What are they expecting for the year? $10. That's pretty substantial here. We're talking about. That's interesting. If we get that move up to $30 and even get it to 36, that has a fire on a lot of all cylinders. Last earnings weren't too fantastic. They lost money here. But the shake and money flow is insane here. That's really what's kind of drawing me to the stock here. So if you're not familiar with the shake and money flow, that's kind of the way on how they're trying to look at like institutional buying and things like that. So it can kind of hit and miss. So with this one, definitely looking for this one with some short-term support around 26.30 to around the 25.70-ish range. But very interesting there. Let's see here. Alice says, I cut myself off before my question. What do you see for Tesla for next week? Thanks. Again, hope you know, Franklin, I don't really go week to week, but we do have earnings coming in at the 26th confirmed now. So that is, how many weeks away is that? So that's hitting into the the 26th? On a Monday? Am I looking at the calendar right? When did Tesla ever report on a Monday? Wow. Okay, I think the world is going crazy. Yeah. So anyway, so within that 2-week window, you could easily get a potential earnings momentum trade, and that really can kind of kick in things pretty fast here, and really see this potentially run up. So what is the options market looking at for the market move is $38 next week. So $38 plus or minus. So we're at 277. We're going to be looking for potentially $40 ish up plus or minus. So we can easily potentially hit that 718 range, which is that 50 SMA here. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but that's what the numbers are saying. But of course, on the flip side, we do have some support coming around 216. Of course, that is that's pretty far outside the $40 range, but that is going to be that level of support we've seen it kind of bounce off multiple times there. Oh, hey, Jeremy V with $10. Wow, thank you, my friend. Check out BBKCY and tell me what you think. I think it's a great company with a big time upside. Hidden gem, I think. Yeah, let's take a looky loop. BBC KCF. Wow. Big digital assets. Okay, that is a huge. Looks like the analytical side is not loading here. Would like to look at what this company does. I'm going to write this one down here on the top of the notepad because I've never ever looked at this chart in my life. I can tell you that for sure because I don't have any lines on it. Yeah, that is a crazy move. So some kind of catalyst has really kicked this one higher substantially here. Is this like an NFT play or something like that? I'm just kind of looking off the name here and kind of where it kind of took off in February, and it's been slowly climbing around this range. But that 5 and 8 moving average is what we're looking at to kind of continue seeing the momentum climb. Since it's hitting into all-time territory, it's very difficult to kind of look on where the top or the overall resistance could be because it's in the momentum playing category. So that what that means is that 5 and 8 moving average is really going to be dictating the potential levels. Because you can see here previously all the way into the February, we've been kind of closing in around the 5 and 8 moving averages on the daily chart for some time and haven't really too much skewed around that, and a lot of potential up moves here in the near term. But so again, some initial support coming in around $2.60 to $2.24. Sorry, $2.42. Sorry, dyslexic here. And then some stronger support coming in potentially around $2 or the 21 EMA here. But wow, what is this? Okay, yeah, that is a pretty impressive chart. So even in the short term, we are looking for some support around 260 on the hourly chart. But yeah, I need to look that one up, my friend. Thank you for sharing, and thank you for the $10. I really appreciate it. Thank you for sharing with the group, my friend. We just did Roku, my friend. I have Polish hairs. Might be explaining why you're more paper hand. You're welcome, my friend. All right, let's see here. Did I miss someone? Let's see here. Thank you again, Jeremy, for the $10. Oh, Josh, thoughts on net? IV has been low Friday, and I wanted calls, but order didn't go through. I bet this week it pops. It's always the ones you miss, right? That pop the next week. Yeah, Cloudflare. Is this what you said? Net, right? I've traded this one. Yeah, IV fairly low initially speaking here. Let me go to the daily chart here. Yeah, implied volatility kind of just been stagnant here. With the lower, what's the options here on the implied volatility? Not too bad here at all. Still a little bit high, but it has been a little bit of a rocky one here. So we do have some short-term support around 66.50 or around the 144 EMA here on the daily chart here. Initially looking for this one to pop here. So next level of resistance in the short term would be around 73.63 and then up to 75.73 there, which kind of falls into that 50 SMA there. Invest in LMT and ISRG. ISRG, what has that been doing? yeah, I like Lockheed Martin as well. In turn, yeah. This is the Da Vinci surgical folks. Yeah, this one definitely has been a pretty strong recovery, one that has been hit and now it's kind of been bouncing around. It is breaking past here around that 778 range. But if that can continue going higher, we're looking for 812 to 820 to the upside and potentially trying to test that all-time high in the near term. Again, with earnings on the catalog at the 420 piece, 420, a medical company getting earnings at 420. Yeah, very interesting. Very close to earnings, so I have to be very careful and mindful about that, though. Could you look at FDX? I like it for a move higher. Yeah, FedEx. That's been coming up a lot, FedEx for me. And some scans here. I like this trade here. Slowly grinding higher here. It already had earnings, so that little fun momentum stories behind us here. Initially looking for that 292 to 290 range to be met, and really trying to test that 305 range with some short-term support to the downside around 275. Where's the dollar going? Yeah, I like to use DXY. Yeah, why is it in here? There we go. Okay, I already had it loaded up. I have to put the money sign in. So with this DXY, is the dollar going higher, lower? It has been trading lower, but now it's starting to bounce here a little bit. Initially looking for the dollar to stay above 92 to basically 91 cents, and maybe seeing a nice little recovery from those levels there. So really looking forward to that and seeing how potentially we can see some a nice little bounce from those levels there. Up like a rocket. 007. Hey Ken, could you take a look at VIX? Apparently, someone is buying 40 million July calls. The VIX, they're buying the calls. They're buying 40 calls. So initially, what you just told me there, I know the VIX is well below 40. It's actually hitting an all-time low here. So $40 is pretty steep here. So I'm not the world's greatest volatility trader. I know people who literally all they do is just trade the VIX and really just base everything off the VIX. And they make a lot of money from that. But they are like professionals. It's insane. That being said, you're saying there are people apparently buying 40 million July calls. Oh, 40 million. Okay, they're buying the calls in 40. The July. They could just be selling premium, honestly. Like to kind of again, I don't like to sell premium on the VIX because if that VIX wants to explode, it shall explode to the upside substantially. So I would have to get a little bit more into that and looking into how the options trades have been working on this one. But I do see a lot of volume coming into the late stages of Friday here. You're seeing potentially some splits here. A lot of the 47.5 calls being bought here. I'm going to guess this is more on the sense of just selling premium, honestly, which a lot of people like to do, especially they're only expecting a $5 move and they're buying these calls for 70 cents. And I think they're just most likely, I'm 95% sure they're just selling it for premium. IPO SoFi price targets at date of change. Yeah, when do they change? I should probably keep up to that because I still own IPOE. So IPOE, of course, is SoFi Bank with Chamath Palihapitiya Social Capital. We are looking for, again, I think this is the future. It's just like Robinhood. I don't think Robinhood's the future in that sense, but I think being like the PayPal, the Squares, the SoFis, they have this huge sloth of. I just say sloth. I meant like huge war chest of things that they can offer folks. But this is easily looking for potentially trying to hit $20. That's going to be a pretty significant range to see on how that goes out there. Ah, Franklin, thank you for the $10. What is that? Is that a fox holding heart flags? Thank you, my friend. That's awesome. That is, yeah, that's, oh, thank you, my friend, from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for the $10. But yeah, IPOE will look at how that comes out. I know Coinbase has their IPO. They're not doing they're doing a direct listing. Direct listing. Where did I put my drink? We're doing a direct listing on the 14th, so that's probably not going to go live. That's 14th is what, Wednesday? Yeah, Wednesday, probably around like 1:30, 2 o'clock. Maybe we'll do a live stream or something like that, see how that goes. But we'll see on how that one goes out. But it's not saying that's going to be how Robinhood goes, but something just really interesting to see. John's asking, do you think that the market will stop halting SPACs? Do you think the market will stop halting SPACs? LOL. I don't. The market can't do it. The Feds might. The SEC, and so forth. But what we're seeing with a lot of like the IPOs and things like that, usually the first couple SPACs and IPOs are pretty okay. But now we're seeing a smorgasbord of SPACs and other various candidates that are just, you shouldn't even want to touch with a 10-foot pole. And now it went from a 10-foot pole to like a 15, 20, 30-foot pole. And you have to be a little bit more more restraint on these, of course, because a lot of people have been burnt by a lot of SPACs. You don't see July? I thought I was looking at July trade. I was looking at June. Okay, I started July here. The same kind of, I was, again, dyslexic here, sorry. The July options here. They have the 100 days out. D9, see this? Makeshift, what's up, my friend? I actually need to promote you. Hang on. Add to moderator list. Thank you, Makeshift. Always thank you for stopping by. TD9172SR. Good evening, Ken. Good evening to you, my friend. Probably just a hedge. It's probably a hedge. You appreciate the insight? You're welcome. Sophia, Ken, can you please do GOV? Really appreciate it. What do you guys do? Yep. That's, you just come on by for the GOV. Yep. Like, I think we talked to this one a little bit. This has still been in that range here. So we're just gonna kind of draw this little box here and really kind of highlight it. It hasn't really broken above 10 or $9.80, and it hasn't really broken lower below that $8 range, where it kind of falls into that 89 EMA here. Initially looking here, the momentum's kind of slowing down. It hasn't really got the 5 and 8 to go through the 21 EMA. So if we don't get a bounce here off that 784 to 775, this thing could potentially break lower and get to that $7 range to the downside. But again, we're just kind of sitting and waiting and how it plays out. Because again, the RSI and the volumes on oscillator are both just kind of nil or just kind of at zero, not really saying anything too much. But what it is saying here, we do have a pretty high IV here, which is a little bit concerning on how the stock has been reacting here and has not really shown the love that I would like to see a stock with a pretty high IV like this. And see how it plays out. But really, this is just pretty much in the penalty box and just kind of waiting for it to kind of see where it comes out from there. What's up, Jared? What's up, my friend? How you been? How you been? Appreciate for stopping by. Let's see here. I SPG SPGI. Yeah, that's an interesting chart. Trying to break out to the all-time high here. That's a nice little trade that we're seeing here with the continuous movement here on the 5 and 8, kind of coming down to 21 EMA just ever so slightly and getting a pretty nice little bounce here and kind of climbing higher here. But it's not like a chart that's screaming for me to get into it, but it has been pretty stagnant. If we go to the weekly side, kind of tells a little bit of a different pattern here. We has seen 2 levels of resistance already at this, like 370-ish range, and got a pretty significant downward move from that. But I think that, of course, that was due back into the unknown time frames. Of course, this has come back quite a bit here. Let me go actually to a larger time frame. That's a pretty looking chart on the monthly chart. That looks like a pretty good chart. I kind of like it. I just need to know the fundamental story a little bit better. I'm ready for IFBD and IPOs this week. I don't know any of those. I need to look up to those. What are those? Vincent, what's my friend? Hey, do you think that the PAVE will take advantage of Biden's green? Is that the ETF? Yeah. And yeah, this thing, oh, wow. I am just so continuously impressed with this ETF on whoever created this. It's just been fantastic on this infrastructure play. This is just, wow. Look at this chart. This has literally been a V-shaped recovery here. From $9 all the way to 25. It's just been stepping higher. Not crazy moves. It kind of gapped up here once here, but yeah, this is just continuously grinding here, continue going higher. Again, it's falling into that momentum category. So we do have some short-term support around 24.77, and then coming in around 24.25 to 25. 24.32 to 24.25 with the short level of support if we do get a pullback. That's a good looking chart though. Can you please print your analysis on VY? Yeah, I've seen a lot of people talk about that one. I've got a couple pings on it. Not recently. Did they say anything else? Yeah, this is absolutely insane here. Really rocket ship higher here, no pun intended here. Looking for that 21 EMA to kind of continue to hold here. So it's going to be your levels of support to the downside if we do get a pullback, even intraday. Not only on the close, this thing has bounced off that level here before. You can kind of see here and here slightly. It did close slightly below it, potentially breaking it if you're a hardcore technical analysis here. But this is really just a pretty oppressive stock, really going from less than a penny and just continue to climb here. Again, we do have some short-term support around $23.44 to around $24 to the downside. It's kind of making that bounce move like we saw initially right here, and trying to potentially break above 28 and touch and break that $30 range there. But I will be very careful on this one because, again, it is a pretty volatile stock, and I believe, if I remember right, the IV doesn't have options. Okay, it doesn't have options, so no worries. Okay, I was thinking of something else that had crazy IV. You're welcome, Makeshift. Star says TSM. Yeah, did I see them on the chart for earnings this week? Yeah, they have earnings this week, don't they? On Thursday morning. Yeah, Thursday morning. Yeah, TSM, huge huge play on semiconductors, chips, blah, blah, blah. Of course, we're having a global shortage of chips, everything for computers, cars, anything, everything has a chip in it. My water bottle probably has a chip in it somewhere. I don't think so. Not yet, at least. But yeah, TSM, huge player in that. How's earnings going to go? I think you already know my a take on it. It's going to be a coin flip. The expected move for the week is about $6, so it's not that substantial here for a $22 stock. So we can initially looking for some support around that 117 to around 115 range to the downside, and then the breakout moment would be basically above 127 to 130 range to kind of see get the ball rolling and really kind of fly higher there for TSM. The real one says CHPT. After it hits $30 resistance, is it time to bounce to 25? Let's take a look. I don't think I've heard of that one before. Oh, they changed the name. Okay, so it went, okay, charge point. Okay. This used to be switchback, right? Or something like that. Yeah, that 29 to $30 range has been some pretty key levels of resistance that you talked about. I'm more concerned about this 50 SMA that's continued to kind of come down here. We're seeing it kind of around that $30.80 range. We do have that short-term support around 27.35 and then to around 26.70. But we do have support around that $25 level like you just talked about. But it has cut through that 200 EMA for some time there. But yeah, this is really going to be difficult, the one to play. IV is pretty high here, so this is something that I might be a candidate on selling some premium on here. The average guy says $200,000 and $200,000 outstanding interest on the VIX. July 25 call and 40-hour calls. Big whales out there. Yes. Big whales trade the VIX 100%. Johnny All Cash says, what ticker to trade? I don't use any of the tickers to trade. I actually use, I don't know, did I show this to a lot of people? I do the, what is it? Oh my gosh. Let's see here. I use this. I use just KOYFIN. I've been using this for quite some time, so I'm looking at the what the what am I looking at? Yield curves. So I just use this. Why does it say Conversus World Economics? Global yields. Yeah, so the 10 years at 1.6662 right now. Pretty substantial here. Of course, that is slightly on the decline here. I'm looking here at a 5-year chart, though. So this is kind of coming into where it was before the pandemic. So kind of getting back into that normal base. I'm more concerned when we start getting above 2 to 2.5. That's when things can get a little bit fun in the sense of just kind of creating more of a panic at those ranges there. We just had that huge increase over the last month or so into that 170-ish range, 1.7 range. But yeah. TLT, what do I think about TLT? I actually kind of like TLT potentially. This thing has been really much. I'm looking here on the weekly chart though. We're seeing the 10-year kind of come in here. So the TLT are the bonds, bond treasury notes, not T notes. TLT is usually the 20-year I'm looking at right here from iShares. So this is usually coinciding with the opposite. So if yield curves go higher, bonds go lower. So that's what you have to look at, because who's going to buy the bonds if they can buy treasury notes? Anyways, we have some short-term support coming around 136 to 135.90 here around So yeah, 135.90-ish is going to be our level of support here. But this has been very aggressive to the downward side. So I'm not going to be the first one to be jumping out here. I'm just starting a small position in TLT. I would love to see this kind of consolidate a little bit more. Not saying it will just be a nice smooth sailing, but at this we could get a dip lower if we have a larger increase in yields there. Why is my chat not updating? You're welcome, Orlando. You're welcome, my friends. Welcome, welcome. Jared, thank you for the $5 for 10 cups of coffee. Please look at VG. Did we just look at that? Oh my God, Voyager, right? Oh, I spelled that wrong. I do terrible with 5-letter tickers. My dyslexia just takes over. I gotta repeat it. Yeah, this thing is an insane move. I know, Jared, you've been talking about this one probably from the first time I met you. I know you're talking about this one for quite some time. This thing looks insane. Very much a rocket ship, like someone just said. It's been bouncing around there. Is basically looking for the 21 EMA here to be that level of support. So around that 23, 25 to $24 is your first level of support, really. But this is kind of just been bouncing off that 21 EMA for some time. This is not usually my cup of tea. It's a little bit too aggressive here, and really seeing a substantial move higher. Like we looked at, it doesn't have options, so you just have to play the stock on this one. But that is a beautiful looking chart, and again, and just really kind of tying to that the 21 and 34 EMA to kind of be your guiding light there, Jared, on the support or the resistance levels if you're looking for the support levels to the upside. Yeah, but that $30 could be easily be met without a doubt. Tilde is the inverse. Let's see here. Can you take a look at to read TR? What is that? TRIN. It's not gonna load for me. Trinity. Okay, I must not be looking at the right thing. Is that a U.S. based equity? Makes us saying Voyager's getting hype because Coinbase IPO is interested a lot more. Easy exchange coins are going nuts too. Coinbase is a legit brokerage for cryptos, but they have hidden fees that not everyone recognizes or realizes. Voyager's. There's hardly any fees. Yeah, that's. It's a God bless you on that. Alpaca, what's up, my friend? Holla, holla, holla. This is XLF financials earnings season coming up. Do you see an upward momentum? Thanks. Yep, Vincent, I'm already in XLF. I've been in XLF for a little bit of time here. We do have earnings starting for really earnings kickoff in full here on Wednesday morning with JP Morgan's, Wells, Goldman Sachs, Bed Bath & Beyond, Lovesac, and so forth. And really is kind of kicking off the earnings season. So banks always kind of start the season off of earnings season. So then shortly after that, we're starting to see the larger tech and NASDAQ names like Microsoft, Apple, Tesla coming in over the next week and a half or 2 weeks, basically. XLF, I think I'm have to look at a larger term time frame. There, Vincent, I'm really looking at what we could see here. I think that, again, we hit that $35 range, which was some short-term targets for myself there. But for the year, with some leaps that I'm playing, I'm looking for $40 plus initially with the continuous movement in the economy and all the fantastic stuff that's really kind of going on there, especially here in the United States. RWT says alpaca. Let's take a look. Always with good names. Alpaca Redwood Trust. What is this one? Is this like a REIT? Is this a REIT alpaca? Yeah, very strong bounce. It looks like it's still very much trying to recover from where it was. It was trading around that $17 range. It's only around 10. What does the Analyst 2 say? Redwood Trust is a subsidiary focused on investing in mortgages and other real estate related products. The company is engaged in mortgage banking activities. The company operates through 3 segments: rental, investments, residential mortgages, banks, and commercials. Looks like it still pays a dividend, not as high as it used to be, but this still stock, this is nice. Kind of just like sit here and wait. They recycle batteries. Are we looking at the same thing? RWT? I just read the description and they do mortgages. Excuse me. Let's do a couple more. I'm getting tired here, folks. Sorry. I've been in the sun too much. Daniel is asking for PLTR. Yes. PLTR. People are saying it's going to $1 million, they say. I sure hope it does, because if it goes to $1 million, everyone in chat is getting a Lambo. Anyways, the level here, to really see it break out for me, is that 50 SMA here, that momentum here. Really, it's going to have to be above 26.88 to that $27 range. You can see my price target for 2021 is around $37. So hopefully we can see that really come through at those levels here. In that sense, we're going to be looking for the 144 EMA level of support to the short-term downside around 22 ish range, to potentially some stronger short-term support around $23. But PLTR looks really nice. But you have to be a little bit patient on it, though. SCI, yeah, what's that been up to? I never got into that, actually. Yeah, it's hitting that wall again. It hit that 52.85 range again. Interesting. Alpaca, you're onto something. The momentum's trying to get there. We just need more like institutional buying here. Look at the shake and money flows, kind of blah. But that isn't. I kind of like this one, Alpaca. I'm trying to remember what was this again? Service Corporation is a national provider. It's a funeral company. Yeah. Interesting. You and GT's are the most interesting companies. I love it. But yeah, that 52.85 has been some level of resistance. So that's really what it's kind of highlighting here on the weekly chart. We do have some short-term support coming around $51 though. Can we look at Plug? What's up, Aaron? Long time. Plug. Excuse me. This thing has wow. That thing is crazy on a downward turn. But this could be the bottom, right? Right? So that $31 to $30 range is that around that 200 EMA. We could be looking for that level of support, so we could see that bounce coming in there with the first level of resistance to the upside around 35. So I'm not the world's largest fan of drawing trend lines, but I gotta draw a little bit more out like this. A trend break there. It's not really too intuitive here. So if I draw a trend line from here, this might be a little bit more in tune, like that. So there's some traders that I know that like to trade these kind of potentially like descending trend line arrows here. So if we do get a tick higher and starts closing above that, that could be the first leg higher and really seeing a very steep momentum play kind of play into that. Initially speaking, that's not the way I look at things, honestly. But that 200 EMA looks like a pretty solid line here. If we do get a break below that, that could be a no fun zone for plug there. We look at Zoom. Oh, not Z. The Zoom communication, same kind of thing. Fantastic product. It's done fantastic when everything was closed, but now things are starting to reopen. People are starting to go back into the office ever so slightly. Is Zoom still needed? Heck yeah, it's still needed, but it's not going to be on such like the demand. But I don't think it's going anywhere. But I don't think it's going to be the use case is not going to be as high. It's going to take a little bit longer to build out longer term contract with some folks, even though it really had a fantastic year last year. Just kind of grow. Let's see here. Yeah, it has it. This is a downward trend here, well below the 200 EMA here, so it's not really my favorite kind of cup of tea here. So it starts needs to get back above 332 to basically to 345 to start getting out of that negative territory there. Mike saying MVIS. Yeah, this is one I know Ryan has talked about. This is the satellite company, right? Which somehow didn't get into Kathy Wood's space thing, I believe. We do have some short-term support coming in around that 55 EMA, which is around $13.50, $13.50 to around $13.07. So just call it $13 just because we're all friends here. It's going to be a first level support to the downside, but then potentially coming in around $12 to $12.59, which could we potentially could get a bounce off of those plays there. Yeah, Richard, that's a really good stock there. I think NNDM has really seen substantial amount of growth and potential to the upside. Sadly, yeah, they have made some pretty small, very timefully stock purchasing agreements. Um, but this thing has run up quite a bit here. It was really on fire. It was like the number one, like fantastic stock everyone was talking about. It was Kathy Wood stock. It was going boom, 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 bang. Now, kind of slightly, by slightly, it has come down substantially here, like really substantially here. We do have some short-term or stronger support coming around $7.15. That's going to be lining up with that 200 EMA there to potentially see if that coming down. But that momentum has really been sucked out of this stock here. It's going to take a little bit more time to kind of potentially level off here and really maybe get things going, unless they come out and start saying that every companies buying their machines to 3D print the chips. Let's do a couple more here, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see here. But do ABML. All right, battery. Yeah, this thing, yeah, very much what we just like we looked at. This is potentially trying to bounce and stay above that 150 range, but it's not looking too pretty right now. But we'll see. Yeah, love NMDM too, but that hype train really got off the rails for a little bit. Oh, really? That's great. If they that's what they got raised all that money for, to acquire companies. But the CEO has come out and said multiple times that, hey, everything's really expensive right now to try to acquire companies. John is asking for Yeti. Yes, that thing. An outdoor play, coming back to summer kind of play. You're gonna need your Yeti at the lake. You're gonna need your Yeti at the theme park. You're gonna need your Yeti on your backyard doing yard work. You're gonna need that ice cold beverage container, ice pack, cooler, whatever you're gonna get. Lifestyle brand company as Yeti. Initially, we've seen this level around 77, 80 to $78 be a very key level of a resistance here, John. But with the momentum here, and if we do get some volume kicking here, I think this thing could rise us up here to potentially test that $85 to $90 range, with the really next target being around $94.44. Sarah says, I think it's going to be a buy some nano this week. Definitely been reversed with the recent news and possible announcement of buying a company. We don't know what company they're buying it, so don't try. Okay, don't try to anticipate a positive move, because again, they could buy a company that some people don't like and larger shareholders get out of it, right? 100%. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you from the bottom of my heart for coming out for the live stream. Sorry I got to cut it short. I usually try to go at least 90 minutes. Oh, someone's hitting DYCEY. So RC, sorry, RCY. Yeah, Rolls Royce. That's kind of been, this kind of came up during the short squeeze potentially. Still very stagnant. Not really much to add here on this one. Very much just kind of been like around that $150 range and a couple pennies here. Um, but very interesting ones to say without a doubt. Yes, summertime plays without a doubt. Thank you, Alpaca. I appreciate it. I'll see you again, guys. Join the Discord. Completely free. Let me copy the link here real fast, and I shall post it in the chat here. Come on over, become a friend. Let's have a good time, and we can have a grand old time there. Papa D, Papa D got out of Zoom. Now he's in NNDM. What do you got it at, Papa? Thank you, D Nice. Yeah, NNDM, like we just talked about, Papa. I don't know what time you came in here. We do have some short-term support coming around $7.27 to $7.18. But if that continues to go lower here, because if we continue to see that 5 and 8 moving average just kind of continue to push us down here, not being able to get back above 816, 815 to basically at 847 range, this can just be a very downhill move. So in the anticipation of maybe making a move, like I don't know what everyone's kind of risk tolerances. I'm not going to be saying, hey, put all the chips on this one stock here and just kind of go for it. I think that's, from my case, idiotic. But I know people have done it and they've done well, but I'm not saying that you should do that. 100% should actually not tell you to do that. But with NNDM, it's been a very high flyer. It hit that $18 range and has been nothing but coming down from there. Oh, Papa, you've been in at 7? Oh, you got in there at 7 like this last dip, or you've been in 7 since last year? But yeah, so yeah, you're basically kind of in that. You have a little bit of a cushion on seeing how it plays out. So if it continues to dip lower, it really breaks below 716. This thing could really dip lower here, well below to 6 to even maybe back down to 5. But we don't need to go there right now. That's it on the downward tick move. We just need to worry about what's currently in range, and what's currently in range is that 730 to 715 to potentially kind of hold here to the downside. Again, I don't think they have weekly options, do they? They don't. So, but April 16th is monthly expiration, so they're looking for about a $1.25 move this week. Whoops, wrong chart. A $1.25 move here, so that could potentially put it back into that. Would love to see it back above $9. That's really going to be tying it into that movement that we're seeing in that momentum trade, because this thing has been very, very much beaten down, and has not been a. Oh, you've been holding it since last year. Good job for you, my friend. That takes a lot of cojones. With NNDM, because that was a hell of a move higher, and it's just been continue to grind lower here. I think I should do. Should I? If you guys hit the thumbs up or write in the comments or in the chat if you want, I'll do a deep dive on NNDM to kind of see where things stand with that one. I'll do a nice video on that one to see how that goes. The Discord link is invalid. Really? Expired never. No limit. Does that work? Let's see here. Jared, thank you for the $5. Just showing appreciation. Thanks, buddy. I've been mountain biking like crazy. You should. Do you upload your videos, Jared, to YouTube or anything? Or is mountain book mount? Am I thinking the right thing? Like the mountain biking where you just, is that where you go up the hill or you go crazy down a hill like 100 miles per hour? Or you do both, right? Probably, because I guess you have to get up the hill. Oh, they had a couple new hires, Paul? Okay. You go get it, Paul and Papa D, my friends. God bless everyone. Thank you, everyone, for coming out, watching this live stream. Greatly appreciate it. If you want to see more live streams, let me know. Join the Discord, so forth, and we'll just have a grand old time there. But that being said, if you want to reach out to me, hit me on the Discord. Try to get back to you as soon as possible. And as all, I love everyone coming out again. Greatly do appreciate it. And I'll see you guys on the next videos. All right, fellas, ladies, and gents. Peace.